No, don't do that. What's up, everybody? Cynical Fate here with a new Valheim video, giving you guys 10 tips for starting out in Valheim. This was something that I noticed when I was streaming on my Twitch channel, that there was actually a lot of people that didn't use some of these things that I do when I start a brand new character or a new server. I figured this would be helpful for people in the same situation, or maybe people starting new. So let's get into the 10 tips, and hopefully there's something new for you. We'll start with tip number 10, and this is something that I like to do at the very beginning of the game, as it helps you find a lot more of those early game materials. You just want to go into your settings and turn the vegetation as low as it can go. Now you'll easily be able to see everything that is underneath, and that gives you a lot of those starter materials that you need to get everything going and your base built. Tip number 9 goes along with getting your first base built. There are a lot of little huts that you can just take over, but personally, I like to build a workbench beside these and destroy them for all the wood that you can get from them. Tip 8 is something that is easily overlooked. Inside your map, you have different options for marking things. So if you come across a big bundle of berries, you're able to mark that. It also has markers for a rested bonus, your homestead, teleporters, and this makes it really easy when you've been all over the map and you forget where half your stuff is. Tip number 7 is not to underestimate the rested bonus. This is super good in Valheim. It's something that can easily be achieved by resting near a fire under some sort of shelter. This gives you a whopping 200% health regeneration, 300% stamina, and it also comes with a hidden 50% boost to all skill experience earned across the board. The nice thing about the rested bonus is it can also be easily achieved outside as long as you have a few materials on you. You just need to be able to make a fire and make a makeshift little roof. And then all you have to do is sit down underneath that structure, and as long as the comfort bonus comes up, if you wait a little bit of time, you will get the rested bonus. You can also use a fire inside the catacombs and later dungeons, and you'll also be able to get the rested bonus in there. Tip number 6 is something super helpful when you're out on an adventure. Maybe you've ran out of food or you're in the pitch black. Inside the meadows biome, you can just pull out a torch and you'll be completely safe. Every enemy runs away when you pull out the torch. Now, if you are close to the Black Forest, which is the second biome of the game, you can run into some skeletons or some trolls, and those will not run away from the torch. So be careful about that. Tip number 5 is something that's actually going to extend into the late game. So you want to build your bow as soon as you can and start killing birds. These drop feathers, which are used for every version of your arrows going all the way up. Later on in the game, you can find a lot of feathers in chests through all the dungeons and in pretty much any chests out in the meadows towns and things like that as well. It's just something you want to keep up on because arrows are super helpful in Valheim and you use them a ton, especially if you're playing with multiple people. These go really fast. Tip number 4 is getting the fine wood early. This is something that can be done by using the other trees to your advantage since you're not able to get them with your axe. Unlocking the fine wood early does give you the better bow, so it's not so inaccurate, and it does give you some options to build some tables and chairs to get that extra comfort level without going into the Black Forest yet. Tip number 3 is going to be getting into our food sources, which is a very big thing in Valheim, which you rely on throughout the whole game. A lot of the initial food sources can be used for later recipes, which is why you want to get on this earlier rather than later. You want to start with a smaller pen made out of the round pole fences, just so you can be able to capture some boars. Once you have your little pen finished, now you just have to find a little group of boars to bring back. These guys will follow you. They just follow a same rotation of attack patterns, and you can bring them closer and closer to your base. Once you have them there, I usually hold a round pole fence to finish off in my hands, back up into the fence, and just let them come in and then clap it down. After getting them in the pen, just make sure you throw some food in there. You want to put a torch on either side. This keeps them docile and also protects them from anything else breaking the fence and letting them out. After a while eating the food, this will tame them. Then eventually they will start to get hearts over their head. Once this happens, they will go to one of the other boars. This is why I keep the pen very small. It's a lot easier for mating, and then you'll start getting your little baby boars. Tip number 2 goes right back into food. Another great resource all over the meadows is beehives. These are hidden inside a lot of the Viking villages or stranded little Viking huts that you'll find. There'll be a beehive at the top. These can be really nasty if you don't have gear at the very beginning, but you can build a workbench and break the pieces around, which will drop the queen bee to the ground, and you have easy bee farming. Honey is super important because this is used as a secondary ingredient for a lot of the best food in the game. Tip number 1 is all about the maypole. This is a really rare spawn in the meadows. What it does for you is it gives you 1 extra comfort. As you see here, when I'm away from it, it only gives me the 9, but once I'm inside its radius, it does give me the 10. So if you do stumble upon these, you do not want to break them. You can't build this yourself other than the summer event or if you're using creative mode. Thank you guys to watching this 10 tip video. I hope there was something in there for you, for anyone starting out in Valheim. This is a wonderful game, and I plan on making a lot more videos for it. Let me know below what kind of stuff you want to see, whether it's new builds, tutorials for things. Just put it down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.